Yeah, it seems to be working now. I guess, yeah, I just had to reset. You know what I might be is that I'm on a cable modem, and I live in a real small town, and I have a feeling that even though they upped my speed, I have a feeling that this time of day everybody's getting home from work, because it's 5:15. I have no idea. I've never used an Uchigatana in Dark Souls 3 that I can remember. I don't think it's bad. As far as I remember, it's not bad. It's just, I don't know. Dark Souls 3 is the game I played the least. Excuse me. Oh man, I have bad allergies. Let's see, yeah, I don't remember it being a bad sword. I just don't... It's not my first choice, but... This sound is one of those sounds that it'll drive you crazy. You won't even know it's driving you crazy till it stops. And then once it stops, you'll have that feeling of relief. Because I know there's certain sounds that really bother the human ear. But yeah, once it stops, you'll feel like... Because I always feel real irritated when I do this part. But then once the sound stops, I feel like there's like all my problems in life have gone away. Ah! Stop putting pillars in my way, game. It's not cool. Oh, it's great sound design because it's meant to get the player on edge. They probably did some sort of research when they did this, and yeah, it's one of those sounds that's designed to get people on edge. Because once it gets turned off, you just feel like, just feel better. We said that about this the entire game the first time anyone's ever played this. That's what we're all saying. It's just so different. At least it was at one point. Watch, now you're listening to the sound like I'm starting to get a headache. Now you ready? Now watch, when I turn it off, you're just going to have this sense of relief. I played Dark Souls, I played Demon Souls first, and I really sucked at it, so I sold it. And then I figured, you know, I just wasn't going to be able to play these games. And then I came back, and then I was watching a Dark Souls video after Dark Souls came out. Excuse me. And then I was like, well, I'll give it... I was watching this co-op while they were fighting some boss. I don't even remember who it was, but they were fighting in... Oh, Demon Souls is so good. If I can ever, like, hook up my PS3 properly to play this game... to stream, I mean, I'm totally gonna do it. Demon Souls, I just played through it again. It's such a good game. The combat's a little floaty, but otherwise the game is just so good. But yeah, I went ahead and I played. I went and played. I started playing Demon Souls again, and then I ended up buying it again, and then I bought Dark Souls like a week later, and I wasn't done with Demon Souls, and I was like, well, I'll just give Dark Souls, you know, a try. I'll play it for a couple hours, then I'll go back to Demon Souls. I ended up playing through Dark Souls and beating it before I went back and played, and I played a lot. And I just kept playing. I was like, oh, I got to try a new build. I mean, I put so much time into these games. And then when Dark Souls 2 came out, I was there on day one. I remember I had a doctor's appointment the day that Dark Souls 2 came out. And I had bought I picked it up on the way to the doctor's office. Because I had the edition with the statue. And I took it into the doctor's office because I didn't want to leave it out in the car. And I remember the medical assistants were making fun of me, saying that I was bringing toys into the office. And I'm like, it's not a toy, it's a statue, and they were just making fun of me. But I went home and oh man, I had so much fun playing it. Asshole. I like Sekiro. The thing about Sekiro is I was like really leery of it. I didn't want to mess with it at first, but so I had no intention of buying it because I was like, yeah, this isn't a Souls game and it's not what I'm used to. And Dark Souls 3, I didn't like, just gonna leave it alone. And then when it came out, I started watching people playing it. I was like, well, I'll give it a chance. So I'm watching people play it, and then I'm just like, wow, this is I might actually like this game. So I kept telling my wife, I was like, I kept telling my wife I want to get it, and she's like, and then she got sick of me talking about it, and she's finally like, just go buy it. Because I was like, I kind of have the money, I don't have the money. I wasn't real sure. Yeah, Tenshu's real interesting. I had never played Tenshu. But yeah, but my wife finally was like, just go buy it and shut up. Because yeah, I just kept talking about getting it. So I ended up getting it, and I ended up loving it. Did have to get used to that new combat, though. Yeah, I'm one of those wives who doesn't, she doesn't try to stop me from being a gamer. So she's really cool. Because you always see those, you always hear about those people that have, you know, their significant other doesn't want them playing video games and won't let them do anything. And I don't know, I just can't imagine being with somebody like that. It would drive me crazy. I have an arcade, I have a Tekken 2 machine in my living room. And my wife had the idea when we first moved into our apartment to put a bunch of comic books on our bedroom wall. Our bedroom wall is covered in comic books, and it was her idea to do it. And she's not even really that big of a comic fan. She likes Wonder Woman. She has a bunch of Wonder Woman stuff in there. Yeah, and then the living room has got comic books, video game and comic book stuff everywhere. I have 2 shelves, or 3 shelves full of video game consoles, from Atari and 10 television all the way up to, oh god, I got, let me see. See, on one shelf I got Atari, television, N64, another shelf I got PS2, I have an old Pac-Man, those little mini arcades where they're just like, they're battery operated. And they have really crappy graphics. I have one of those. I got a Dreamcast. I got my Sega Saturn. And then on another shelf, I got 2 TurboGrafx 16s, 2 GameCubes, a modded PS1, NES, Super NES. I got a Genesis in a box behind me, and that my ex-wife's ex-mother-in-law gave me. Here's a cool story about that. I have this Genesis that was open. It's in the box. It was opened once and played, and then put it back into the box, and they never touched it again. And what had happened was my ex-wife's grandmother passed away about almost a year ago. And I didn't even, no one even told me. I went over there to pick up my daughter, and my older daughter says, "Hey, you want this? You want this game system we have over there?" She says, I think it's a Genesis or something. And I was like, yeah, sure. And then she tells me that her grandmother, my ex-wife's grandmother, her great-grandmother died. I didn't even know. Nobody told me. And she hands it to me, and I'm like, oh, wow, it's inbox Genesis. I get home, and the thing had been played maybe once. It still had, like, all the wrappers, like all the plastic wrap and the books and the advertisements, had everything in there. It wasn't missing anything. It had a 6-button controller and a 3-button controller. And on the cables weren't wrapped up. Excuse me. The cables weren't wrapped up. They had that crisscross that they do at the factory, where they got the crisscross bends in it, instead of, like, you know, when you get home you roll them up. And it had a Garfield pack in, and yeah, it looks like they had opened it once, played it, and then put everything back to get back in there. So I have this Genesis in the box, which is like brand new. Thing's 25 years old. But yeah, I got a lot of cool stuff. Excuse me. Oh man, that burns. I got a 3DS around here that I play so once in a while. I can't see very well, so I have to put on my reading glasses. But I've got 2 Game Boys that don't work, and I have 2 Game Gears that don't work. I can get the sound to work in 1 or 2 of them, but yeah, I can't get any of the graphics to work in any of them. So it kind of sucks. I also have I have one of the good, I have one of the backlit Game Boy Advances that works great. They're technically a thing. Do you know what a Game Gear is? Yeah, it's got the backlight. Yeah, it just sounded weird. It sounded like you were like a thing. Yeah. Game Gears. I can't play it. I only have like 1 game for it, and I can't play any of the ones I have, but who cares, right? I have a Game Boy Advance player on my GameCube, along with the television hookup. Yeah, I don't think anybody really liked Game Gear. I know my friend Freddie has one that's like in a case with that works really well, that he picked up at the swap meet for like 25 bucks, a bunch of games. But yeah, I have the Game Boy for my GameCube. I ended up finding I found a GameCube at the swap meet for 8 bucks. And I ended up getting it with the television set attachment, and then I ended up getting and it had a Game Boy Advance player on the bottom. And I ended up all I needed was the Game Boy Advance whatchamacallit, the disc, and I ended up buying the disc years ago. Or I ended up buying the game. No, I take that back. I got the GameCube with the TV for 8 bucks, and then I found the Game Boy Advance later. That's what they tell me, and I didn't. And it's funny because I was telling another friend of mine. I was like, yeah, I think I have one of the aftermarket ones, and he says, I said, let me see, and I ended up taking it out, and it was the original. And I guess I had the original, and I thought I had a aftermarket. But I got it at a swap meet with the. I bought the Game Boy Advance player at a swap meet, but it didn't have the disc, is what it was, and I had to get the disc from eBay at the time, and it was before they had gone up in price. Oh, you dick. Dick. Yeah, it's real weird. It's kind of like when you see one of those expensive games and the case is worth more than the game. Are you talking about the one that goes to the little TV? Because I have that. It came with mine. Is that the HD cable, or are you talking about something different? Yeah, look at Earthbound. The game's worth a couple $100, and then the box and stuff is worth like 500, 400. I don't know what it is at this point. I know it used to be 700 for the whole set. Oh, okay, it upped the resolution. Oh, get those guys out of here. Shadow Tower is cool. I played it on the PS3. Not my favorite game, that's for sure. I hate first-person games, but especially like that. Yes, he's an asshole. Yeah, and did I ever tell you how I got my copy of Earthbound? That's like one of the best stories. That's one of my favorite stories to tell. Let's see. Okay. Well, I was at the swap meet in Selma, California. It's up by Fresno. And this guy had a stack of sports games, and at the very bottom was Earthbound. And I had just heard of Earthbound. I had never really heard of it years ago. And I'd watched a video, a review on it, and I was like, oh, that's a real interesting game. This is like 6 years ago. And they had this guy had a copy of it at the bottom of all these sports games. I basically had to go to I ended up finding it at the bottom of a stack of trash, basically, in the bottom of a junkyard, because it was all these sports games for the Super Nintendo. He wanted $8 for it, and I said, I'll give you $5. And he says, how about $6? And I said, okay. So I paid $6 for it. I get home. I'm talking to my friend Freddie, who used to actually be on the channel. And I said, I think it's worth like $20 or $30. So I think I got a good deal. I got home and they were going for, and I had a real clean copy with like almost perfect label. And then the card had no writing or anything like that on it. Yeah, $6. And I get home and I start looking it up, and it's going for like $300 on eBay. Like, it's selling for $300 that day. And I was like, I think I got a really good deal. And it turned out, so I was like, well, I'll play it. and if I like it, I'll probably keep it. If I don't like it, I'll go ahead and resell it. It turned out being one of my favorites. It turns out it's my favorite game on the Super Nintendo. So I still have it to this day, and I know there's going to be that day at some swap meet somewhere where I end up finding the manual in the box for like $1. So I'm just waiting for that day to come. So I can go ahead and finish out my set. I almost had a manual at one point, but the guy ended up, he didn't have it. Wow, $30. That's pretty good. That's good no matter, you know, when you get it. Even back then, $30 was good. I ran into this. I used to know this guy that ended up getting a copy for $10, complete in box, because they were just like, he said they were just getting rid of them. Yeah, $30 for a card. I mean, you still made out. Yeah, $30 for a game like that. It went down in value when they put it on the Wii store, but now it's going back up in value. I saw it's back up to like $250. It's just gonna always be one of those games people want. Yeah, that's the fun of like collecting anything. Like if you look at old comics, nobody knew that a lot of old comics were gonna be worth money, and now people are, you know, selling them and buying houses with the money. The really old stuff. Some of the old stuff. We didn't catch on till the 90s that comics were going to be worth anything. But mine's in really bad condition. Mine's in what's called bare, which is like the second to last in bad condition. You know, from it just being a reader copy. And I could get like 400 for mine. And I paid $100 for it back in what is it, 94? Good, very good, fine, very fine, near mint. Mint. And you never find anything in mint, unless it's like brand new sometimes. Yeah, I collect records too, I just don't collect anything expensive. I just collect stuff I want to listen to. Like I just got a copy of Jim Croce's You Don't Mess Around Jim. Yeah, none of my stuff ever gets expensive. Oh, this thing's loud. The last thing, most of my collection is like Hendrix, Zeppelin, Beatles, and it's none of the expensive stuff. Yeah, I love Jim Croce. I could listen to Jim Croce all day. His stuff is great. I don't know. But his popular stuff isn't as good as his unpopular stuff. New stuff goes up, huh? That's interesting. The newest record I own is Nirvana. Smells like, I think it smells like Teen Spirit. Some girl I worked with back in the 90s gave it to me because she knew I was into records. And that's like the newest one I own. Okay. Um. Cool. I had that. I can't find. I think it ended up getting broken. Do you remember that Beatles single they put out, "Free as a Bird," that back in like the '90s? I had a copy of that, and I don't know. I don't know if it's worth. I doubt it's worth anything, but it got broken. I also had a copy of Eric Clapton's "Cocaine" that got broken. It was the single on a 45. I remember it got busted in half somehow. I don't even remember how. Let me see. I guess. Let's see. I need to warp back to the Duke's archives. Shoot, I need to go to Anne Arundel. I forgot to get the, I should have done this sooner. Yeah, I buy what I like. That's the thing. I don't buy anything. I never collected records for collectability like I do with other stuff. And even when I do buy something for collectability, I try to get stuff that I like. Excuse me. I used to have an Elvis record that I don't know what happened to it. And I have no idea because I know some of his stuff's worth money, but it's probably another one of those things where they made so many that it's not worth anything. I used to have a really cool Elvis 8-track too. I used to have a whole bunch of 8-tracks that my grandmother had when I was a kid. A lot of Neil Diamond and stuff. Yeah, my grandmother has a bunch of records. I have to look. They're in storage somewhere. That my grandmother, when she died, there was a bunch of records, and I don't know what's. I don't know if there's anything in there or not worth money. But I know she wasn't a rock and roll person, so. But you know, I know with records, it just depends on the artist, so. That's the thing. When I was going through all this stuff, when she passed, when I got a hold of them years ago, I ended up. Yeah, when I got all this stuff, I ended up. Give me a sec. Sorry. I should have just killed them all. I was just trying to kill him. Anyway, when I got all this stuff from my grandmother years ago, it wasn't anything I listened to except the Elvis record I kind of liked. So, and I don't even know if I had a record player when I had that, or mine was broken or some, because I'd pick them up at yard sales. I'd always pick up record players at yard sales. I have like 2 or 3 turntables in storage, and one of them I know needs a needle. And I don't even have any good stereo equipment anymore. I have one of those, you know, things for people's, you know, those small things. It's got the record player and It's got the turntable, the cassette player, and the CD player. And then I also had I had a hi-fi about 15 years ago that I was going to restore, and I ended up getting rid of the house I had, and then I didn't have a place to put it, so I got rid of it. Oh, this thing sucks. I keep having problems with my damn... I'll check it in a sec. Let me... I got all these enemies coming at me, so I gotta kinda... You gotta give me a sec here. Okay. I got the broken pennant, so I'm okay now. Ah, oh, you fucker. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Let's see, it's still doing this thing on my end. Okay, yeah, it's working again. Alright, well, I'm gonna go back. Yeah, I ended up dying. They came out of the woodworks again, and of course that damn, I got what I needed. I'm just gonna grab my souls and run away. Because I've already got the, what I needed up there. I got the broken pennant. Yeah, it doesn't let you pause. It's the one thing that drives me crazy. Alright, let's see if I can just get this. There we go. No, you cannot pause life. You're absolutely right. Yeah. Yeah, I have a storage unit full of stuff, and I just remembered yesterday that I have a Oldsmobile 455 motor in there, and I need to. I was looking up how much people sell their cores for now, because back when I had it in 2000 and I'd say had it like in 2001 or 2 when I first got this motor. It was in my 75 Oldsmobile. You know, you'd sell these motors for like 100, 200 bucks. I saw them selling on eBay for like $900, and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. It's just a core. It's not even an engine that you can, like, you have to rebuild it. But I was like, I got nothing to put this motor in, so I was like, well, shit. I need to get into storage once the heat cools off because it's so damn hot right now. I need to get into storage and, like, start finding all the junk in there that I don't want because I got so much stuff in there to sell. Maybe I can sell enough to put it towards a down payment on a house or something. But yeah, it's pretty neat. I was like, wow, you know, get rid of this core. And then I got a transmission in there too that I've had for years. Yeah, it's that time. Yeah, I told my wife, I said, did you know how, I asked my wife, I said, do you know I have an engine in storage? And she says, no. I was like, yeah, I got a real big engine in storage. It's kind of a funny conversation. Oh, this boss is an asshole. Let me think. How do I want to fight him? I think I'm going to use Pyromancy. Yeah, Manus is the biggest dick in the damn game, but I think old, what's his face here is number 2. Let's see, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I think I'm gonna try this. Put all these points into Pyromancy. It needs to be more useful. Yeah, I've never tried to fight the 2 of them. Come on, fight me like a man, even though you're not a man. Come here, you bastard. Pyromancy is good in this game if you use. There's people that'll do level 1 runs, and they'll just use Great Combustion, and it works real well. They'll use just Great Combustion and Combustion, and they'll destroy most of the enemies in the game with it.
Thank you. I am one of the sorcerers of Uraseed.
I've never tried. I tried level run 1 on
May the flame.
Dark Souls 2, and I got into the DLC. I could beat I could beat all the. Yeah, bows are better for range, but yeah, it just depends what you're doing. But yeah, I did a level 1 run. I've done level run 1s in Dark Souls 1, but I haven't like finished any. And one day I need to sit down and finish it. I did do in Dark Souls 2. I did a no death run. I completed one of those, and I got through and made it without dying. But you definitely you don't fight everybody when you do one of those. I didn't do it. When you do a no death run, you skip a lot of stuff. You skip as much as you can. But I was able to beat what's her face. And I ended up getting, because you end up getting a whatchamacallit, a invisible. You get like an invisible weapon. I think it's your weapon or your shield, but yeah. Yeah, I ended up trying to do a level 1 run, and I was trying to beat everybody, but I ended up getting to what's her face in the DLC with the poison. God, I can't remember her name right now. Just before you fight Sin the dragon, and I couldn't beat her in a level 1 run, but I beat like most everybody else in the game. There also used to be this trick for level 1 runs, where people would use. There was this. Oh, what was it called? Anyway, it was this potion for killing, undead things. But they hadn't patched it, so it would like do tons. Yeah, it didn't. Wasn't worth messing with, so you couldn't do it anymore. I'm trying to remember the name of it. It was yeah, you like threw it at them. Well, I wouldn't say she's Medusa, but she was the oh, what was her name? She was the one singing. That's what it was.
Yeah. So long.
I don't know why my brain's farting right now. I usually remember everything about these games, but not today. I don't know why I even grabbed those. I don't need them. But yeah, you fight her just before you... No, not that singing. In the DLC, she's singing. And you go down into the, like, the pyramid or the temple. No, it's not the Shrine of Amana. That's a different place where they're singing. No, she's singing in the DLC with all the poison. And you have to fight all those giant things, and then you end up fighting her. You go down. You have to keep going down. Yeah, Lana. That's her. Shit. 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 Oh, what an asshole. Damn, you still caught me. Oh, you fucker, man. Ugh. Yeah, I don't usually use axes, and I usually don't use pyromancy. Yeah, Lana, she's the one that I couldn't beat. And then I ended up, I probably could have, like, it's one of those things I probably could have if I would have stuck with it, but I just, I lost interest. Because I had beat all the regular game enemies. Like I said, the great axe is good. Pole arms are not that strong. It depends which. I use the halberd sometimes in playthroughs, but it's not the best either. It's good in Demon Souls. The halberd's one of the best weapons. Without getting too... Oh, it's funny. Demon Souls sucks with all the special boss weapons suck. Yeah, that's the problem with her, is that if you get a lucky summon, if she just summons the pigs and the skeletons, you're probably all right. But if she summons what's his face, then yeah. great. Now he's buffed. Now he's even more of an asshole. Oh no. I can't get up. Great Axe is alright in this game. It's just, like I said, it's man, that doesn't do shit to him. Ugh. Yeah, I got to, if I didn't heal in that part, I should have attacked him and then healed. Yeah, the problem with the axe is it doesn't have as much reach as swords. I was doing all right in the first part of the fight, and then I ended up healing when he went to go buff himself, and that's where I made my mistake. Alright. God. Whoa, I don't think I've ever seen that one. Got him. Yeah, I agree. You do have to just kind of... That's what I did this time. I just slowed down and just waited. Thank you. Yeah, I had to just slow down and just be patient because he'll just keep... Early, I think I didn't... He seems to be programmed to capitalize on your mistakes. And I just tried to minimize my mistakes. I don't think I made any big mistakes. He got me on that like spinning attack, which I've never seen before. Oh, he definitely, if you go to heal, he does the flip jump if you're too close, but if you go back far enough, he does that flying jump, that flying flip. But I find if you roll towards him, he'll miss you, but if you roll any other direction, he'll catch you. At least that's what it seems like to me. I don't know. I don't feel like they did, but I could be wrong. I don't know. They all feel the same to me. Oh, who's texting me? Oh, it's my wife. Yes, I do need something from Rite Aid. Yeah, I mean, you could be right, too. I have no idea. I'm just... It feels the same to me. All right, here we go. Came up again? Oh my goodness. I can't win with this stupid thing. I have a feeling it's partially because my stepdaughter's at home because she graduated high school, and I have a feeling that she's in there using the internet and it's messing with mine. She goes to college in a month, less than a month, so hopefully that'll solve it. Hey Rob, I'm gonna go ahead and restart this again, so just go and try to find where it pops back up. So thanks, Charlie. Yeah, she's a good kid. Did a lot of work to get there. So I'm gonna try to restart it. So go try to find the other one. It'll be on a new video. So.